Start recording with the Wallace, and I'll bet you he blows a mile back when I launch him. But I'm going to attempt it anyway, so we're recording. So let's see if he can launch. I'm here in Gretna today, and I'm parked up. Where am I parked up? What's the name of the place? I've just been in for a nice cup of tea and a bit of shortbread. It's the Old Toll Bar Cafe. That's where I am parked today. And I'm here not at Gretna Green, but in Gretna. So the Old Toll Bar is, as it says here, the first house in Scotland. It's the first house when you cross the English border. It's the first house that you'll come across in Scotland, and it's very, very windy today. So I probably haven't picked the best day to do what I'm about to attempt to do. And that is start a series of videos that will be a drone's eye view of the entire coast of Scotland. Now, this project will probably take approximately 6 months to complete. So no matter when I start it, I'm going to encounter weather that is probably not the best for drone flying. However, it doesn't really matter in Scotland when you come out, no matter what the forecast is. It could be raining or snowing, or the sun could be shining good enough for you to go to the beach, and all of those different weather events can happen in one day. But the river that you see there, and I believe that's the River Esk. If it's not, I'll correct it later on in the edit. But that is the river where the border between Scotland and England runs. Once you cross that river from this side to the other, you're in England. And if you cross over to this side, you're in Scotland. So, if I'm going to be making a video that is covering or attempting to cover the entire coastline of Scotland, then this is the place to start, at the England-Scotland border, where the coastline starts. So I'll be walking down as far as I can, and this river, which I think is the River Esk, leads to what I think is the Solway Firth. And I spoke to a lovely lady, Janet, in at the toll bar, the toll house there, wherever it was, who told me how to get down here. And she said there was a path, and I suppose you could call this a path. In Scotland, this is as good a path as you get sometimes. In fact, it's a better path than you get a lot of the times. So I'm pretty much walking along the border of Scotland and England at the moment. So this is the very first part of the coastline of Scotland here that you're looking at. The River Esk, I think. So you can tell that I've done all my research and I know the names of all the features and places here, that I am starting out with this fairly momentous, in my opinion, task, which I don't know whether I'm going to be able to complete it all. Hope you can hear me with this wind or not. And today I had planned to come here with the idea that I would walk as far down as I can here along the river and then put my Mavic 3, the Wallace, up to continue on the journey up, heading north up the coast. Now the weather forecast did say strong winds, but I didn't quite count on the winds being quite this strong. However, the Mavic 3 is a mighty beast, and strong winds shouldn't deter him from taking at least a bit of a flight. Now, I may not fly as long as I had hoped, or as far as I had hoped, and certainly not as high as I had hoped, but I can get a bit of a flight in, I'm sure. So this is the path along the Solway coast, and it does go down there in the distance to what I believe is the Solway Firth. And I'm going to walk, as I said, just as far as I can. Up over a stile. Yeah. And the wind is actually so strong that it's whipping about. It's whipping the camera about on the gimbal. As you can probably see, the gimbal is under quite a bit of strain with this wind, just to try and keep things stable. Oh, we're getting close, and when I get to the point down at the end here where the river opens up, that's when I'll decide for sure whether the Wallace is going to be flying today. I can tell you that the very strong wind isn't a very strong wind. It's an incredibly strong wind. That's what the weather forecast should have said. Give me a bit more heads up. And the wind is blowing from north to south, from Scotland to England. So at least that's good news for the drone, for it means that when I send the Wallace upwards and outwards, he will be flying into the wind, which means when he's coming back, hopefully he comes back, he'll have a tailwind carrying him safely back to my loving arms. Okay, look at this. So there you go. The border is that river right there, the border between England and Scotland. And as we open up here to the estuary of the Solway Firth, I think. Then you have to decide which way do you go. If you're in a boat, you have to decide, do I turn south? Do I turn southward and home to jolly old England? Or do I head north into the wild and dangerous, heathen-filled land of Scotland? No one can make that decision for you. You have to do it yourself. Well, I'm deciding today that I'm heading north into Scotland. Well, I'm staying in Scotland, I'm already in it. So, we leave England behind us. Cheerio border and cheerio England, as we head along the first part of the coast of Scotland, the most southern part of the coast of Scotland, right at the English border. And here's where the rain is starting to come down as Scotland embraces us with all its charm, telling us how welcome we are to be here in Scotland, presenting us with its most beautiful weather to keep us here and keep us coming back if we're not from here. And the wind has changed direction and it's now coming from the west to the east. It's blowing in from across the water where the Isle of Man is situated, somewhere over there. And I don't think I'm going to be able to walk much further up the coast than this. And if I am going to get the drone up, then it has to be now, as the wind is only getting more fierce and stronger and more discouraging. So I'm looking for a slightly spot to stop. There's no shelter here, no shelter from the wind whatsoever, as you can see. There's England in the far distance. No shelter for me. So I might as well make my stand here and send the drone, the Wallace, the brave Wallace, let me wipe the cameras, up along another bit of this coastline, probably up to just the point there that I can see and no further. That's where I'll send them and bring them back. So let's get the Wallace out before that wind gets worse and send them up in the air. Okay, so the camera should be steady enough. I'll now retrieve the Wallace from my backpack. If this all goes to pieces, not only will I lose the Wallace, I'm going to be losing this Insta360 X4 as well, which I won't be too happy about. However, you have to do what you have to do. So once we're ready, we'll start recording with the Insta. Woo. Start recording with the Wallace and I'll bet you he blows a mile back when I launch him. But I'm going to attempt it anyway, so we're recording. We've got the tripod set up over there. Recording stopped now. Right, we're recording, the tripod's set up, so let's see if he can launch. There we are. So he's holding his own. He is holding his own. Just no more. You can see the way he's leaning. So let's get him into sport mode. Send him up that coast. Not too high. Strong wind warning I have here. Aircraft unable to return home automatically. Lower altitude immediately and return to home manually. Okay, I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to be continuing to fly up this section of the coast. I am confident that the Wallace is capable of holding his own in the wind there. And I must get this part of the coast recorded. And you can see the speed, or you can't see the speed, but I can tell you that the speed here is less than 9 meters a second because of the strong wind that he's having to fly into. And I'm reticent about putting him up much higher for you to take a look at the coast. But what I will do, I'll hover him there and I'll let you have a look out to the east, sorry, to the west, and then down to the south again. That's England away in the distance. And then facing back north again, and you can see how much he has blown off course, but I'll bring him back onto course up along the coast. And he's only up at 20 metres. Not high at all. I'm not taking him much higher than that because of the extremely strong wind. You probably can't see him in the camera, but with my naked eye, he's still visible to me. He's 700 metres out, but he's a big boy, and he's got the Insta X4 attached to him, so I can see him quite clearly. I'm keeping my eye on the battery power. We're at 77%, so that's actually not bad. 76 now. He's doing well. He's handling this strong wind a lot better than I suspected he would. I don't think either Lassie, my Mini 2, or Caledonia, my Mini 3 Pro, or any of your Mini 4s or Mini 5s would be able to handle weather like this. It's just, it would be too much. And if I stop altogether, you can see that he's holding his own there. He's not getting blown off course. A big strong lad. If I turn him inward a little bit, and I'll face him south and fly him backwards. Continue to fly him north. He's having trouble flying that way. He's down to 1 metre a second, so not doing too good there, right? So I'm not going to fly him up much further along the coast. I'll try and take him up to that point, that point, the natural promenade there that points out. You get slapped with flying leaves here. I'll take him up as far as that. I think that will do us. And I'm going to attempt to take him up just a little bit more. He's up now at 25 metres. But that's about as far up as I'm going to take him because it doesn't like it at all. I'm getting a lot of strong wind warnings here and it doesn't like it. And he's almost at a standstill now, as a matter of fact. I'll need to bring him back down. He's flying along at 2 metres per second, so he's almost at a standstill at that height. There you go. I've got him down now to 10 metres. And at 10 metres, he is flying along at 6 metres per second. Obviously when he comes back, he'll probably be flying in about 50 miles an hour. And battery's now down to 58%. Not too worried about that because the strong headwind that he's flying into will be a great tailwind to bring him back. You're almost up at that promenade now, that natural promenade. When I get to there, I'll turn round. I'll have a look up the coast from that point, but that's where I'll turn the Wallace around and bring him back. He's hardly moving at all now. I'll bring him down a little bit to get his speed back up so he can continue to move northwards. The battery's now at 49%, so this promenade is the farthest I'm going to take him. Once again, he's almost at a standstill. 13 metres high he is, so he's very low to the ground, but he's only travelling along at 6.8 metres a second. But here we are, we're reaching the point of the promenade here, the natural promenade. It's the furthest I'm going to take him. And the next time I come out, I'll probably start the flight from this point right here, because it does look like there is some kind of a path that I can get to this point by walking along. That looks like a path I can probably walk along to get to here. So there we go, the rest of the coast heading north up that way. And in the next video, this is where I'll be flying from here, continuing on up the north and along the coast. So heading the Wallace back now, and immediately you can see how much faster he is. There he's at 17 metres per second straight away, and he's hearing it back at an unbelievable pace, flying back down that coast, 17 metres per second, with that tailwind helping him all the way. 17.3 miles per second, meters per second, miles per second. You've got a rocket going to Mars. 17.3 meters per second he's travelling at now. Safe and sound, with the Insta still intact, would you believe? So let me get right away over there now. Right, line up with that. Turn around. Look at me. Come a bit closer. Go too close. Right, so that's it. That was the first part. The first part of the coast of Scotland, where it starts at the England-Scotland border and travels north, obviously. In the next episode, hopefully I'll be starting the flight and the walk from where I left off this one, up at that natural promenade that sticks out. Hopefully it looked like there was some kind of path that I may be able to walk along to get there and start my flight from there. So that'll be next week probably. I intend to make one of these every week, and over the next 6 months hopefully I'll have covered the entire coast of Scotland all the way around to Berwick. If this is of interest to you, give us a thumbs up and share the video please. Let your friends, family, colleagues know that there is this series of videos happening, and if they want to see the coast of Scotland from the air and maybe a wee bit of footwalk and maybe even a wee bit of interaction with some of the local people and seeing some of the local spots near the coastline all the way around, any interesting spots, I might go and visit some of those too. Thanks for watching. If you stayed to the end of the video, you're an absolute legend. If you didn't, you won't be hearing what I'm saying now. So there you go. Thanks very much. Cheerio with the new.